The higher emotions bring happiness. You and I know all about the lower emotions, right? If you've ever been shamed, if you've ever felt apathetic, if you've ever felt grief, right? Those are painful emotions. Those are the low ones, too. The lowest is shame. Then comes guilt. Then comes apathy. Then comes grief, fear, desire, 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 what I want, what the thing, I want that. But what happens with desire? Desire gets thwarted. You can't have that, Jack. But I want it. Yeah, but you can't have it. You can't have it. Well, that's painful. Not getting that that what which I want, that which I want. However you say it. I'm trying to say it without a dangling participle at the end. I remember a 10th grade English professor was, God, I think she spent 3 weeks on dangling participles. And you're like, and you wonder why people hate English class because you're spending 3 weeks on the dangling participle. Anyway, I guess she did me a favor. But the higher emotions bring happiness and pleasure because they feel good. And you, but you see, you and I know all about the lower emotions. We know that chapter and verse because that's where we've lived all our lives. So the level goes, the order goes. Shame is at the very bottom. If you're shamed, if someone says something that shames you, that's the vibrational level of shame because everything vibrates. Everything. The chair you're sitting in vibrates. The floor under your feet vibrates. The potato chip you're about to insert into the cake hole vibrates. Everything vibrates. Everything has a vibrational level. And so do thoughts. Thoughts vibrate, and so do emotions. Emotions have a vibrational level. Amazing, huh? And shame, shame is the emotion with the lowest vibrational level. It's down there at the bottom. Less than shame is you're physically dead. So physically dead, let's say is 0. Shame is 1. So here you're alive, but you're shamed. So it's the lowest human emotion you can experience is shame. And then comes uh, guilt. You feel guilty. You did something. You feel guilty. And shame is a result of doing something bad too. You feel ashamed, right? And then apathy, grief. Someone died, you're grieving them or whatever. And when someone dies, you don't grieve them, you grieve yourself. You're not, you're truly, you're not interested in them, but it's a shock. Their death is like a wake up call, like, oh yeah, one day my life will be required of me too. That's why you cry when, see, they went home. They're finished with this physical body, this physical life. They don't have to be here anymore. They're gone. So you should be happy for them. When people die, you should be happy. When people marry, then you're happy at a wedding. But you should be crying when they're getting married because that's more accurate, no? That's in what I've seen, it's more accurate. You you cry at the funeral when you should be laughing and blissfully happy for the human being who got out of this hellhole that we call planet Earth. It's a hellhole. No matter how you dress it up, right? Oh, we're going to make this a better planet. Good luck. How are you going to make this a better planet? You're going to throw all the people off of it? So there's only you left? How are you going to make this a better planet? I hear politicians talking about that and these save the planet morons. It's instead of saving the planet, why don't you learn how to self-observe? then you won't care about the planet, because you will have fulfilled, or you will at least be on the path of fulfilling your purpose for being on this low plane in the first place. So forget saving the planet, save your soul, save your essence, save your spirit, right? And I hear people say that, well, we're going to save the planet. Okay. You and how many armies? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I've heard a lot of stupid things. Just listening to human beings is stupid. It's enough to make you, what do they say? Well, they say in so many words, they say people are terrible, comma, and then you die. And that's pretty accurate, right? Shame is at the bottom. Well, death, physical death is at the bottom. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anxiety, right? You ever been afraid? It's a horrible emotion. It's terrible to be, but there are human beings stuck in fear. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger. Gee, we finally got to anger. Anger is a horribly, it's like battery acid. It's like anger is like sprinkling rat poison on your Cheerios in the morning. Why would you do that? Why would you purposefully mess up your inner state by getting angry? That's painful. A dragon can breathe fire, but who's the first victim of the fire? The dragon himself. The dragon gets burned by his own fire. Why would you want to put fire at somebody? Resentment is the same thing. It's very close to fear. So is jealousy. So is, did I just say? Yeah, resentment. Yeah. it's all fear too, by the way. It's all fear. Pride. After anger comes pride, arrogance, haughtiness. Oh, look what I created. I created myself. Nobody helped. Stupid. So, and then the emotion where we it's the I call it the fulcrum, the on the balanced, on the seesaw. It's the fulcrum. It's in the middle. It's courage. When you finally find the courage to strike out and try something new, something different. And us human beings, we hate new and we hate different. Unless it's like a new kind of pizza at Pizza Hut or Domino's, or try this new burger that we have. People run for that. But anything else that's new, we hate it. We hate change. The only thing that likes change is a tire or a wet baby. Tires love being changed, and so do wet babies. But everybody else, we don't like change at all. But if you are in pain, which you are, and all these emotions that I've just described your emotional level. This is where you're at. You are at somewhere in that range, because you're not courageous. In reality, you are not courageous. In reality, I am not courageous. However, you and I can find the courage to learn, to listen to learn about something new. And the something new that you and I are always discussing is moment to moment impartial self-observation. That's how you raise your level. You raise your emotional level from a low, painful level to a higher, more pleasing, pleasant level by way of moment to moment impartial self-observation. So here are the pleasing emotions. Okay, we've been through the dark ones, and we know they hurt. But courage, courage doesn't hurt at all. Initially, if you've ever found the courage to go do something, like I remember in 8th grade, all the boys, we were in the gym, and of course, they beat it up like a dead horse. Oh, well, we're going to have an eighth grade dance. And so you're all like, uh-oh. I mean, I want to go because, it's fun, it's social. So it's 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon and everybody went back to the school and we had the eighth grade dance and they turned the lights down and they had a band and they had a PA and the speakers. And then, oh, here's the teachers that we recognize from being on campus. Oh, and he's my fifth period math teacher or whatever. And all the boys were on one side of the room and all the girls were on the other side of the room. And I'm like, man, this is not, let's get this thing going. And I remember being terrified, but I walked across and I knew because I wasn't well, I don't want to get into that. Anyway, I went and asked this girl to dance, and thank God she said yes, because had she said no, that would have been humiliating, right? However, it's been said, and it's true, your humiliation is your salvation. Because instead of saying yes, had that girl said no, and I knew I had the wherewithal to observe myself impartially, my inner state, then she could have humiliated me. She could have said no, and maybe the whole room had laughed, the whole auditorium had laughed. But had I observed my inner state, then that observation itself, even amidst all the laughter, that would have helped me because it would have the observation separates me from the emotional experience, and then that I no longer am my emotions, right? I am no longer my emotions. I'm separate from, so I can start to see the emotions, and once I can see them, then I can study them and I can learn about them and I can understand them. See, that's what moment to moment impartial self observation does. Just like if someone who gets angry a lot, if they could observe the anger that comes up, we all get angry a lot, but do you express it? See, some people just express it. They don't care who they hurt, who they harm. They are an exploding volcano, and the lava comes flying up, and the lava from my explosion lands on people who are around me. Okay. When you explode, you harm other people around you because your lava has just landed on them. And lava is hot and it hurts. And people don't forget explosions at all because it's more like you ever touched a hot stove. You touch it once, you're not going to touch that thing again because you remember it. See? So if you are an angry type, people remember when you get angry. That's why I know a really angry man, and he once told me, he said, yeah, I go to work and I see people, I'm 8 a.m. and I arrive at work and I see people running away. I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking, yeah, knucklehead, they hate being around you because they know you're just going to go off. So of course they run, right? You've done it to yourself. When are you going to take some self-responsibility for your emotional state? See? Which means, pull the camera back, when are you going to grow up? If you want to wake up from among them, if you want to learn how to self-observe, you know what you got to do first? You got to grow up. This is all about growing up. This is all about growing up into what nature wants you to be. So after courage is right. We're above all those low, dark, nasty, painful emotions. After courage comes neutrality. That's an emotion. Neutrality. Wow. Okay. I never heard that before. Unbelievable. Neutrality, the emotion of neutrality. Next one, willingness. Willingness. Wow. Huh. Next one, acceptance. I live at the emotional level of acceptance. That's, just ponder that for a moment. Wow, that's different, huh? There's no pain in that. There's no pain in courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason is the next one. There's no pain in any of that. What have we discovered? Unbelievable. If I'm in pain, that means I'm living at a lower level. So how do I raise my level so I don't no longer live in pain? I learn how to self-observe. I study myself in action. So courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love. Love is an emotion, and it's way up there. And people say all the time, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Bye, honey. I love you. Bye, mommy. I love you. Really? You actually factually love me, or you love anybody? You exist on the emotional level of love? Because unless you do live at that level, if you're telling someone, I love you, what you're saying is, I vibrate at the emotional level of love, therefore I'm able to love you. That's what you're saying when you say those words. So do you? Is that your present emotional level? Yes or no? It can be. If you learn how to self-observe, you can reach the level of love. I hope you do. I really hope you do. That would be fantastic. So I heard one teacher say, until you know what love is from yourself, I forbid you from ever using the word love again. I remember him saying that. He said that a few times, and he was right. He said, I forbid you from ever using the word love again. Let's keep going. After love comes joy, happiness, right? Happiness. On my website, there's a book called The Happiness Habit. The Happiness Habit. What does that mean? The habit, it's a habit through which I can attain happiness. Moment to moment impartial self-observation is that habit. Okay, the happiness habit is that habit. We're talking about self-observation. After that, peace, emotional level of peace. After that, enlightenment, bliss, nirvana. This is where Christ and Buddha were. Christ said, what I have, you can have also. And more. Didn't he say and more? I mean, that's what we hear in Scripture. See? So get busy with this and get involved with this and start watching these videos that I'm making, because I'm going to teach you how to self-observe. Only somebody who knows how to do it can teach you how to do it. So what are you wasting time going to that organized religion for? If they're not telling you about moment-to-moment impartial self-observation, they're not telling you the true teachings of Christ. And that's a future talk too. So get busy with this. Go to my website. Check out these videos. Okay? Let's get going, because you don't have as much time as you think you do. Neither do I.